There we go. Hey, so my name's Kuyper from fattystrap. Um, this is Liam from God's Computer. Um, they're a band, I guess, from Kansas City, right?
Yes, Kansas City based, alt rock on the heavier side, metal on the lighter side band. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, word. Um, and then so you guys, how's the music scene in Kansas City? Like, what's it like? What do you have to compare it to? What's your point of reference, I guess?
Yeah, so I've never been in any other music scene, so I don't really have another city to compare it to, but it's pretty cool, like the DIY scene. There's like a number of cool house venues that I'll go to shows to. Like I was at a show last night at this house venue called Kitten Castle, and yeah, I've been just going to a lot of these house shows recently, and there's a cool like community of just people all making all different types of music here in KC, and there's a number of spots that have kind of popped up recently to just host these like bands that are making music here in KC. So it's pretty cool, honestly. Like I don't go to a ton of like bigger shows, and I think that in terms of the bigger shows, sometimes KC gets like skipped over. Like you'll see like sometimes bands will go to like St. Louis and then they'll go to Denver. They'll just skip Kansas City for some reason. Especially in the type of music that I like kind of metal or like heavier rock, that kind of thing. But it's pretty cool the local scene.
That's awesome. Yeah, and along those lines, like, so it's a lot of house shows and like networking and kind of underground kind of feel to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm like familiar with. A couple different like house venues, and then a couple different like I'll go to shows at like a couple different house venues, and then like there's some other place I need to check out, but like there's a record store that just opened up pretty recently that also is like a bar, and they have live music there too. So I've been there, and I've been to a couple different like house venues like I'll go
Also
to
try to sell
since
some
maybe like
CDs there,
March. I started going out to a lot of stuff.
or give away some freebies there. Free.
Sorry, what was that? You were kind of cutting out a little bit.
You should probably give away some free CDs there too.
Oh yeah, I gotta show you these.
Yeah,
I don't have any CDs yet, but I was just out like we have this thing called First Fridays in KC where people sell their art. It's like the first Friday of every month they can like sell their art on the street. And I was just like out there and I was just handing out these. I got these business cards. They just say God's Computer on them. So I was just handing out these business cards.
that's
Yeah.
and then who else is in your band?
So it's me and this guy named Sage, who I met on Craigslist, actually. So I was looking for a really long time to find people to kind of start a project with. And we just kind of met up like very recently, last month, and we've already put out like the 3 songs, and
Yeah,
it's going really well so far, I would say.
that's awesome. It sounds like you
Mhm.
guys are playing a good amount of live gigs. Like, how many do you think you've played? Or
Oh no, we haven't played any live gigs. We're mainly focused on like getting songs recorded first, like maybe having like at least 5 songs before we start doing any shows or anything like that, because we like you saw they're short songs, so we only have the 3 songs right now, so we got to have at least probably like 5 or 6, like to get at least like 10 or 15 minutes of music to go play at like one of these house venues or something like that. So yeah.
absolutely. And then yeah, just going back, like your history, like how did you initially start? Well, I guess a better question is, so originally we met, Liam was doing like a Sigma male, ironic, sardonic kind of Substack. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, not really. That was kind of like a side project I was working on while I was like kind of had some free time, like and things were stalled out with this main thing that I was doing. This
Yeah.
main thing that I was doing, this company I was trying to start, it's not going super well, honestly, but I'm
What is
still
it?
kind of working at it.
What kind of company is it?
So the company's called Pay for Time. The idea is basically that people you're trying to do sales meetings with might be more likely to take your like sales calls if you were like donating some money to charity in exchange for them taking the sales meeting. Like there are like these companies that exist already where you can like give people like gift cards or something if they'll like take your meeting, that kind of thing. This is like kind of a variant of that, where like basically you're trying to incentivize people to be more willing to meet with you by offering like something of value in exchange for them like meeting with you. That's like the whole idea. I've
And then
had like a handful of meetings, but I haven't sold anything yet. It's just it's a
why
process.
do we do it?
I'm still like working on it.
So, yeah, it kind of sounds like consultation though, right? Basically.
No, it's just kind of a meeting confirmer platform that lets you like donate to charity in exchange for meetings with the people you're trying to meet with.
Let me put my AirPods in. You'll be able to hear me better too. Hold on.
Okay, sounds good.
Let me pause this recording. So yeah, sorry about that. Had to put my AirPods in. But so you're working on your own company that's basically a consulting firm kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just kind of a sales tool, more of a sales tool, basically.
Got you.
Yeah.
And then
In terms of the music stuff, I really got into that, like to like kind of touch on that a little bit. I kind of really got into that heavy like the start of this year. I wasn't like super huge into it before this year, but like in the beginning of the year, the first like 6 months of the year, I was just making demos with people from Reddit. There's this subreddit called Bedroom Bands where you can go to basically meet people and then make music with people online and just like send files back and forth and collaborate that way. And so I made like, maybe like 20 or so demos, or maybe a little bit more than 20, like over the first like 6 months of the year. And now some of those demos, like the vocals, are going to get translated to what we're doing with God's computer. Like because those were just kind of, trying to make music with some people, not all of them like wanted to, like kind of vibe with what I was doing, or like it didn't like work out for starting a project with some of these people. But it's
yeah,
like it's a cool subreddit for finding people that kind of make music with Bedroom Bands.
yeah, totally. It's find a community
Mm,
and stick with them. No, I like that a lot.
yeah.
That's dope. Sorry, let me pause this thing really quick. I want to fix these AirPods. They're being such a
Yeah.
okay, cool. So who are some of the people you got involved with in r/bedroom bands? Like who are some of the ones who stuck around, I guess?
Yeah, I didn't like keep collaborating with really most or any of the people who I did like. Most of them I was just doing demos for to see if like we like vibed, and like most of them like didn't want to like work with me on a project. Like part of that was like I was kind of new to it, honestly, like in when I started doing them in like January. And some of the first ones I did, honestly, like I don't really think they were that good. Like I don't like them very much. Some of the more recent ones I like, but my like we can get into this when we talk about the songs that I sent you, but
Yeah,
later, but my like kind of vocal style is a little unique, right? And some people didn't really
definitely.
like kind of like what I was kind of going with, right?
I,
You
I
know.
like it. It's definitely really grungy and like punk
Mhm.
and dystopian, drony, and a little bit of emo and like
Mhm.
cynical and sardonic. I like it.
Yeah.
Um,
Thanks. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah, but some
but
people
yeah,
they're imagining
not
something different.
everyone's gonna vibe with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I'm big into like a lot of metal type stuff, but they're looking for screaming a lot of the time. And like I like metal instrumentals a lot, but I don't like to scream really or listen. Like I like to listen to some screaming, just but I don't personally like to do it that much myself. And a lot of the time I don't I get kind of turned off by it in music. And then also the kind of high pitched, aspect of the vocals. Like some people just don't vibe with it. But that's like something I like in some of my favorite bands, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's a personal thing. And people will get it when they get it. So,
Mhm.
um, is what's his name? Sage? Is that his name? The person in your
Yeah.
band?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you meet
Yeah.
him through r/bedroom bands as well?
I actually met him on Craigslist, so that's where
Oh,
we met.
Craigslist.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
How was
Which is
that
actually not
experience?
bad for good.
Yeah,
Like
because I
Craigslist
feel like
actually
it could have
isn't
gone
bad
really
for
wrong.
yeah. You think so? Craigslist actually is pretty good on like, or maybe not pretty good, but it's not bad for like trying to find music people, like people to do some music stuff with. Like I found some other people who we got together and we did before I found him, I found this other group of people who we got together and we did like one little uh kind of like practice type session, jam with.
Yeah,
And we just honestly, I think they might not have been vibing with what I was trying to do or something like that. Like it didn't, go super well, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. I'm happy that I found this guy I'm working with now because we're kind of I think we're on the same page like with music and stuff like that. And he's cool and like I'm liking the stuff we're doing so far, how it's been going.
yeah, that's awesome. So I don't know if exactly if I asked you this, but how did you originally get into music?
Like making music or what?
Just in general, like what was the first memory you had where you were like, "Oh, I really like this piano," or "I really want to produce," or "I really want to sing," whatever it is.
Yeah, so I was always big into listening to music, but I never really
Yeah,
was big into doing it myself for a while. Like I played piano a little bit when I was a kid and didn't really like love doing that. And I also played viola when I was in high school, and I didn't really love doing that honestly. Uh I got like Scarlett Solo a while back, like the audio interface, and like I got Ableton because a while back. This was a while back, like maybe in like 2021 or something, like maybe like a year ago, or maybe even a little bit more than a year ago, is when I got like some equipment and I started because I was kind of interested in like I don't know why I was interested in making my own music when I didn't really like doing it as much when I was younger. But I think that part of it is uh like I like just like mostly I just like doing vocals. I never knew that before. Like I just started just, you know, just decided to start doing it, right? Uh
yeah,
so and also like uh yeah, and also like I like just coming up with stuff like in terms of like just I have like a guitar that I've been just messing around with a little bit recently, and I like more just like trying to come up with stuff rather than like learning like the theory and stuff like that. Like I like just
totally.
like kind of messing
Expressing
around with it.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. But in terms of like listening to music, I was always like huge into that. Like since like I was in
What are
high
some of your
school.
favorites?
Yeah, I remember, I found, like, when I was, like, in sophomore year of high school, I found, like, Pierce the Veil's, like, Collide with the Sky album when I was on
Yeah,
vacation, and that one, like, kinda blew me away. Like, that's one that I can just remember finding. And then another one is, like, Interpol's Turn on the Bright Lights album when I was, like, maybe a senior in high school, I found that, and that's, like, sti those 2 are still 2 of my favorite albums, but right now, like, my favorite bands are probably Placebo is my favorite band. Have you ever heard of Placebo?
no, I haven't. I'm not really in that like kind of
Mhm.
emo-ish punk world, but no, I haven't. What I'll look them up. What do they sound like?
Yeah. Yeah, look them up. They sound a little bit like, I mean, what I'm doing, like a little bit vocally, like their singers got kind of nasally high pitched voice. Like that's where I'm drawing some inspiration. Like I'm not trying to rip them or anything, right? But
Yeah,
I
no, of
like
course.
that's kind of how I already like to sing, right?
No,
So that's like
music is
uh
definitely an amalgamation of all your experiences, and like it's like
right.
the music builds on each other, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure.
Yeah, because like like Interpol's like singers got like kind of a droning voice. You mentioned like droning earlier, and like
Yeah,
Pierce the Veil and Brian Malko from Placebo have like kind of high pitched voices, right?
yeah.
Singing voices. Yeah. Also, I'm big into like Deftones too, which my
Deftones
the
are
guitar
great.
player
I
I'm
really
working
like
with
Deftones.
yeah, they're sick. The guitar player I'm working with Sage is like super big into Deftones too, so we can kind of bond over that, right?
Do you know Lily, the band?
Yeah, I've actually heard one of their songs. I think I'm not sure if this is. They have one of their songs saved in my like songs. It might be a called like Toro or something like that. I'm not sure. Do they have
Yeah,
a song
that
called Toro?
that that one's one of my favorites. But yeah,
Yeah.
the Charlie, the bassist from Lily, is one of the people working on Fattystrap. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Really
we're
cool.
getting there. Yeah, and I could definitely hook you up with him if you have any questions and stuff like that. But
Okay.
anyway, back to the interview. So how long has your band been together, I guess? Obviously it's pretty recent, it sounds like, but
Oh yeah, this is like totally a new project. Like we only
like
been together
God's
for
computer.
yeah, God's Computer is totally a new project. We only been together for like a month. Like he already had the
Okay.
instrumental that we did for the first song, and then I already had the piano beat for the third song. Like the third song is just piano and vocals. I already had that piano. I made that in Ableton a while ago, and then the second song we just worked on together. Like I had the vocal idea already done. Like it was my favorite idea that I had, and we
And is
worked on
that
it.
second
He
song
did
Green Tornado?
the second song is the Red Carpet song, and
Okay.
the third song's the piano one, Green Tornadoes. The second song, we just hung out and we worked on that one, and he played guitar on that one, and I just programmed drums and bass on that one, which I'm no pro at doing, but we don't have a drummer or bass player at the moment, so that's kind of
Yeah.
how we went about it. And we might
Yeah.
just honestly keep just it's kind of easier with only having two people versus it might just make everything harder if
Yeah,
you added more people, right? So yeah.
definitely. And especially if you guys get along so well and have the same vision, like that's awesome. Um, so how would you describe like
Yeah.
God's computer sounds for someone who's never heard it? And like what kind of guiding principles or like ethos does your band have, you know?
Yeah. So I was actually just
Like,
thinking about this. I gotta pull up this like little notes page that I have because
yeah,
I was
no
just
worries.
writing
Take
about
your
like
time.
things. What do I like in music and what do I not like? Because like I was just thinking about so some bands that we both like, and we have a playlist. Like me and Sage both have a playlist on our Spotify. Like under God's Computer, we have like playlists saved on the profile that are like Liam God's Computer Inspiration playlist and Sage God's Computer Inspiration playlist. Like if anyone wants to check those out, those will kind of show like
Yeah, I'll
what
link those.
specific bands. Okay, cool. What specific bands we like. But in terms of like just stuff I like in terms of vocals, I like uh the sound you get when you like quadruple track or double track or whatever, like on
Yeah,
all the songs, all the
yeah.
three songs
Like
that we
distort the
post
fuck out
already.
of it. Like you guys have a nice
Yeah, just
distortion, but it's so clean at the same time. It's beautiful.
right. Yeah. I just spent a lot of time playing around with like effects in Ableton for the vocals, right? Like over the past six
Yeah.
months to figure out like what works. And like I like the full sound from you get from like quadruple tracking. I don't really like putting a bunch of reverb on it. Like I don't like we probably
Yeah.
won't have like a lot of reverb on the vocals on any of the songs.
Yeah,
Like
you don't
and
wanna
then
overdo it.
yeah, and I kind of like sometimes just doing weird stuff with it, like maybe like amping the vocals or something like that, like putting like an amp on them to make them like just sound like you said like distorted or whatever. I might do that for the fourth song that we're working on. Uh and yeah, I mean those are some things I just like and don't like, and I don't really like crazy loud bass. Like it's kind of tough because like this we can get into this, but on the Red Carpet song,
Yeah.
like and this is something that I might have to work on. Like, I'll get better at, the production side, like over time, me and my bandmate will, but, like the bass is like, sounds fine on my headphones, but like, if I play it through my phone speaker, you like can't hear the bass really. Like,
Yeah.
but on like some songs, I don't like it when I'm listening on
And
my headphones and the bass is so loud that it shakes the headphones, right? It's and like a rock
yeah,
song.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing about that, that's all mastering and all that shit, like getting the
Yeah.
just all that shit. Um,
Mm,
yeah, um,
yeah.
but yeah, so going back to it, like, what's your ethos? Like, what do you hope to gain out of God's computer,
Yeah.
I guess? You can check your notes if you want.
Yeah, I don't really have that in my notes really. I mean, I just want to make a lot of music, like, and have people like
Yeah,
listen to it, and
cool.
like a
Yeah,
lot of music that people like to listen to. Like, this you might find this cool. Like, I bought these like business cards I just showed you, like,
mhm,
these like God's Computer business cards, and I just got them like 3 days ago, and I've just been like going out and like talking to people like at bars and stuff over the past couple of days, like seeing if like people like all like what kind of music people like, because I like just kind of learning about new bands and stuff too. But if they like alt rock, then I'll give them a business card and be like, I'm in a band, God's Computer. Check it out if you want. If you like alt rock, you might like it. You know,
Yeah.
I passed out like 49 business cards in the past like 3 days. Like I bought like 1,000.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to like sling 1,000 business cards. Like I don't know how long it'll take me, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what fattystrap needs to do. That's what we really need to start getting at.
Mm.
So I guess along those lines, what are your future, you know, 1 month, 5 year, 10 year plans for marketing, growing, stuff like that? Because I know you have that kind of mindset.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
So
yeah,
right now
for
you're
sure.
passing out
I
business
do
cards,
definitely.
obviously.
Mm. Yeah, I just want to grow it to like honestly, I don't know what the plan is beyond this, but I want to grow it to like having a lot of people in KC like just know of like what God's Computer is, like because that's where I can pass out business cards. That's where like, you know, like that's where we're from, right? So like the plan for short term is really just from my perspective, just try and get CDs and business cards out to people who like this type of music here in
Yeah,
KC, and well,
and
I'm not sure
expose
from
them
there.
to it.
One thing that I'm kind of
Yeah,
interested in doing is one thing I'm kind of interested in doing is kind of like uh collabing with like other artists, like you know, like because like we can drop music whenever we want. Like we're not like, you know, we're independent, like we're an independent band, right? So like we can like drop music whenever we want, like working with like other bands who can just drop songs and dropping songs with them. And so our audience sees their finds out about them, and their audience like finds out about us. Like
yeah,
we got to
exactly.
grow a bit here, but I'm honestly cool with like collabing with like anyone. Like if like if we like each other's music, right? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
if anyone sees us and thinks that what we're doing at God's Computer is cool and wants to collab, like just feel free to reach out. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I'll post your Instagram and stuff, so it'll be really easy to reach out to you guys. Um,
Yeah, cool.
so going to your songs, so the first one, quite frankly, I didn't love. I like the vibe, the red carpet one, but like it was
Mm,
still very obviously like novice, and I know it's your first song and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So I don't really have
Mm,
much to say about that. But Green
mm,
Tornadoes, I really fucking liked. It has
yeah.
this like kind of relaxing, like yet psychosis inducing vibe, and I love it. Like it's so unique. It reminds
Mm.
me of The Residents. Do you listen to The Residents?
No, I'm gonna look them up right now though.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, they're a punk band from the 1980s. Look up Samalina.
Okay. Is it one of
Yeah,
their most popular songs or no? It's gonna take me a while to load, like a
no,
minute to load
no one
Spotify.
knows them.
Kinda
They're
slow.
really funny. They like just their whole thing was like fucking with copyright. So they did one album that was like the Beatles but dead basically, and they got a big lawsuit over that. And
Oh,
like
really?
no one knows what their real address is, so they were never able to get sued. Like, and they're
Huh.
still making music and shit like that. So I don't know. They're awesome, but
You said they're called The Residents? It's loading right now on my Spotify. Sorry.
yeah, the
It's just taking
Residents.
a
No
second.
worries. Um, but yeah, so what are Green Tornadoes? What is this song about?
Um, let's see. I don't know. I just came up with the idea. I thought it'd be like kind of like interesting just to talk about like I like just doing like little stories, right? Like I know that like you didn't like the like red carpet one, but like I like the like little story there a little bit. It's like when
Yeah,
you
no,
think
I
of the
like
red,
this. Sorry, I like the story. I just
yeah.
like the production and stuff could use
Mhm.
some work, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's your first song and like whatever, you know.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so about stories. So what's the story about in Green Tornadoes?
Yeah, so the Green Tornadoes one, I mean, it's just kind of I just came up with it like I don't know how I came up with it honestly, but I just
Yeah,
kind of came up with it. And like for anyone who hasn't heard the song, it's basically like starts off, it's like on the side of the house we were painting, like you're painting a house. And then like at first it was a sunny day. Like it's a sunny day, you're painting a house. And then it's like, but green tornadoes uh were forming in the sky. We stayed outside and kept painting in the sky. So like the idea is like you like got like you got swept up by the tornado and like, kept painting in the sky and it was like it's like dark but like cool and like kind of like beautiful in a sense. I don't know. I like the
Why green tornado?
I just think that like the dark green, like, sometimes that's like I don't know, it's just like cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking like green kind of relates, like the way I was seeing it, I was like, oh, it's kind of like a climate song because like green
Mhm,
tornado and natural disaster
mhm.
are affecting this person's house painting, but yet we're still going about our daily lives kind of thing.
Oh, okay,
That
yeah.
that's what I got from it
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of cool though. Everyone can have their own interpretations.
exactly. Yeah, everyone gets their own interpretations, and that's the beauty of music, I think.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Um, So that's awesome. And then really quick, I do want to ask, so Hey Honey,
Mhm.
what is it? Hey Honey mean to you? Is that what the track's called?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I really like this one.
Mhm.
Do you want to explain it a little, and then I can explain what I liked about it?
Yeah, sure. So the lyrics are like it's pretty simple. It's like
Yeah, it's
uh
very simple,
I
but in
hear
a like
people
eloquent way.
Yeah, it's like I hear people laughing at things that I say. They weren't supposed to be funny. Stop laughing. Hey, honey. Hey, they like, hey, honey. Hey, and then it's like, I want to be ununderstood by these people laughing, by these people cackling. Stop laughing. Hey, honey. Hey, honey. It's just about like, like sometimes, like, it's just pretty straightforward, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah,
like, people will laugh at you when you're like, you're not trying to be funny, right? You're not trying to do anything funny, and or you're just like doing something seriously and people like will like laugh about it,
yeah,
right? Like
and
it's a
not
joke.
take you seriously
Yeah,
and
yeah,
treat
right.
you like a child. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. And it's just like, kind of like being a little, I don't know, sarcastic about it, or I don't know what the right
Yeah,
word is, but
totally.
like stop
Sardonic or
like yeah,
sarcastic,
like
yeah,
stop laughing, right? Like yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, totally. I got the same thing about it, and I loved, like, "Hey, honey," because it's, like, kinda like a mom saying to the child, and it's always like, these people are laughing at you because they're your mom, like, "Hey, honey, stop laughing. Why are people laughing? Wait,
Mhm,
why are people laughing at people, I say? They're not supposed to be funny." Yeah, you kinda explained that, but I also really like the intersection of, like, where it meets kind of the mother figure, you know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm.
And I just thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that was pretty much all I
Mm.
had for the interview. Is there anything you wanna say? Anything you wanna shout out real quick?
Shout
Anything you're working on in the
out
future, like in the near future?
Yeah, shout out to the Blast Monkeys. They're from Tonganoxie, Kansas. I have their shirt on right now. Blast Monkeys. They're a
Oh,
cool
yeah.
band. They're kind of they're just cool guys. I'm wearing their shirt right now, so I was like, yeah, I'll shout out, gotta shout them out, and then gotta shout out one other band too while we're here, just in case anyone in
Yeah.
watch or two other bands actually. There's this band called Sky So Black.
Sky
Have you
So
heard of
Black.
A Sky So Black? It's one word.
Yes.
uh they make kind of like Deftones inspired music a little bit. I'm not sure how to describe it exactly, but there's a big like resurgence of that right now. Like a lot of bands are kind of like making music that's like kind of like Deftones core, Deftones esque. Like there's playlists on Spotify if you search like Deftones esque or Deftones core. Like there's a couple playlists that show up, and there's just a ton of bands that are all making like they sound like
That's sick.
Deftones. Like
And
like
that's what you gotta do. You gotta
yeah,
get on the Spotify playlist. That's how
mhm,
you blow up. I'm not
yeah,
exactly sure how to do that, but yeah, yeah. That
yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
That and live shows, obviously, which I know
yeah.
is a lot.
True. And then the other band, I want to talk about one other band.
Yeah.
I just found this band from, I'm not sure where they're from actually, but I just found this band called Cellar Dweller today, and I thought they were cool. So I was like, I'll bring that up too. Cellar Dweller.
Cellar
Their
Dweller,
vocals kind
one
of
word or two words?
two words, cellar and then dweller. Their vocals are kind of cool, remind me of ours a little bit. So
That's sick.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was great catching up with you, Liam. This is
Mhm,
Liam from God's Computer out in
mhm,
Kansas City.
mhm,
I'd highly recommend checking out Honey, and then Green Tornado. They only have 3 songs out, so it's
Mm.
really easy. And then you have what's the other one called again?
The third one's called Red Carpet. Yeah.
Yeah, which wasn't my vibe, but maybe
Yeah.
it's yours. You know
Maybe
what I
it's
mean?
yours, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Great talking to you, Liam. Thanks for joining us on Fattystrap.